Another Monday live of Better in Green. Just trying to get our channels open here. It's been a little while. We had Thanksgiving break. We had Ethan was in Florida. I was traveling back to DC from Michigan. So apologies for the just the chaotic schedule, and we've been a little MIA for the last couple days. So we are back and excited to talk about a couple games tonight, as well as looking at the college football playoff brackets. We do have NHL, NBA, a little bit of college basketball as well tonight. But me and Ethan were talking before the show. Not a whole lot of bets besides these a couple plays in tonight's Monday night NFL game. But yeah, big week. We just finished conference championship week in college football. We are a pretty big college football podcast. I know me and Ethan are heavily involved in college football. So we'll have a lot of stuff coming out about the playoff bracket, all the bowl games. We will get into every single bowl game. We'll have a quick 3 to 5 minute video for every single bowl, probably a little longer for the playoff games. But stay tuned for those. Those will be over on our channel, our YouTube channel, Better in Green. So make sure you check those in. But Ethan, how are you? How was your trip down south, and how's the bets been going?
Yeah, doing well. Happy to be back. Well, kind of. I wish I was still in Florida, but happy to be back live. Yeah, trip was good. Still fighting the post-vacay blues here a little bit and getting back into the normal life stuff. But bets were okay. College basketball was not good this weekend. Um, NHL, NBA, I mean, it's par for the course. It's basically break even the last few weeks. Not a ton of bets in either. But NFL finally did win in the NFL this weekend. I had a nice big play on the Packers, nice big play on the Rams yesterday. So those were two winners, and then hit a nice little touchdown with DeAndre Hopkins last night, which
Nice.
had boosted to plus 405. So yeah, good NFL weekend, which is my second of the year only. So we'll take that. But yeah, just hopefully the ship turns around for all sports.
Yeah, I'm in a weird spot where whatever I'm doing betting is not sustainable, but it's winning me money. If you do follow along over on my Twitter, I have posted a couple of my two big parlay hits. One was a $2,500 win, and then last night I hit a $600 win for a 20 to 25 dollar unit better. That's a lot of money for me. So, but again, it's not sustainable, and my straight bets I just am not winning, and it's a little frustrating, but trying to turn it around tonight. Let's quickly talk about this Sunday night game. It's kind of a crappy game. Let's be honest with you guys. Both teams have absolutely nothing to play for. Maybe Dallas a little bit more, but not really. Dallas is at home. They are now a 4.5 point dog against the Bengals. Over under is 50.5. Cincinnati is pretty much out of it. What are they? 4-8. I think Dallas is 5-7. Both teams are like less than 3% chance of making the playoffs. It's kind of a meaningless game, so it's kind of hard for me to bet in this one. The line has moved down quite a bit in favor of Dallas, which I think is because of Dallas's two most recent wins, and then Cincy's off of I think 4 or 5 straight losses for Cincy. So maybe the recency bias is what's leaning Dallas, unless I'm missing some injury news or something like that. But yeah, I lean Cincy. I'm not going to take them because I think that spread is a little bit trappy. But I do lean Cincy in this game. I also lean the over. I take unders in prime time all the time, and they have been absolutely sucking. Last night I did have the under, so that was nice. But besides that, unders have been terrible in prime time. It's just a weird betting year in the NFL, I feel like. But do you have a lean on the total and the spread at all?
Yeah, I like the over with you. The issue is it opened like 45, I think, and it's up to over 50. So I might look to get involved live on the over. Yeah, I just can't play it now that it's like almost a full touchdown above where it opened at. I like the Cowboys though, and I basically just said it in our intentional lounging video. I just don't trust, or I just can't lay points with the Bengals, especially on the road. I know Cowboys have struggled quite a bit at home this year, but I just Yeah, I can't lay the points with the Bengals, so I might have a small play on the Cowboys, like half a unit, nothing crazy whatsoever. Yeah, I still like CD to score. I've been betting CD to score almost every game with Cooper Rush. It hasn't done me well, but the odds are just too good for a guy of his caliber to find the end zone with, still being the number one weapon, and Cooper Rush isn't that bad. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll get involved in this game, but Cowboys is definitely my lean.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm a little lagging a little bit, so apologies if my quality's crap.
Are we
But yeah,
lagging here?
it's a tough ask to. Yeah, I think we are a little bit. Am I behind? We lost Ethan. We will be. Oh, here he is. You back?
Back.
Okay, he's back. I was lagging too. I think it might be my end. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I think we're back. I agree with you. It's hard for me to lay points with Cincy. It's just I don't know. It's kind of like the San Fran team. I keep waiting for Cincy to turn it around, and they just haven't. San Fran did get a win yesterday. I was on the Bears, so that's fun. Um, but I don't know. I do think Cincy is a better team. It's just it's a weird game. I do have a couple props that I would like to get into. A couple touchdown props as well. Two, I don't know what you want to call them, either dumb bets or value bets. But two touchdown scores I am on tonight, both parlayed and straight. I have Tanner Hudson, who is the Bengals' second tight end, first tight end between him and Gasecki. I have him to score. He is plus 1100 anytime. I don't know. I think it's too obvious to take a Joe Burrow or sorry, a Jamar Chase or a T Higgins. Tanner Hudson just scores in random games. This kind of seems like a random game he's going to score. And DraftKings does have the best odds there at the plus 1100. And I also have, hear me out here, Joe Burrow to score a touchdown. The Cowboys have the worst defense against quarterback, both rushing touchdowns and rushing yards in the NFL. Again, Joe Burrow is not a rushing quarterback. But if you do look at his recent years in the NFL, he has one rushing touchdown this year, which was that like 40 or 50 yarder in prime time or something like that. I forget who that was against, but that's his only rushing touchdown this year. I think last year he had 4, and the year before he had 6. So he has had multiple touchdowns in a year before. Majority of those are probably quarterback sneaks on the goal line, maybe a 1 or a 2 yard scamper. He's not going to, besides the one time this year where he banged off a 50-yard run, he's not going to be that guy. But again, terrible defense for Dallas in stopping the quarterback. I know they have Micah Parsons back. But that kind of helps my cause. Maybe he can, cause some havoc back there, and Joe Burrow scampers in. So I do like Joe Burrow to score. Again, it is a risky play, but it's only plus 475, which I feel like that should be much higher. So I kind of do like that quite a bit. And I also do like Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys. He was back last week, did get into the end zone. I did, do a little research on the Cowboys and what they're going to do. Their offensive line is beat to hell. So I do think they're going to do a lot of check down, a lot of short routes, a lot of screens, a lot of swings, a lot of slants. With Cooper Rush, who's not a great quarterback, and Brandon Cooks is kind of that guy that doesn't catch the deep ball. He is that screen guy behind the line of scrimmage, maybe a quick slant, a hitch, an out, something like that. So I do like Brandon Cooks to score once again. I know he scored last week. And then my final prop that I do love, and it is not a touchdown score, but his receiving yards. I like Chase Brown, the Bengals running back, over receiving yards tonight. Again, Micah Parsons back. Cowboys had, I think, 6 sacks last game, 5 sacks the game before. The only way to stop the pass rush, and since he does have a tackle out tonight, so their O line's a little beat up too. The only way to stop a pass rush truly is to do screen plays. So I think Chase Brown's going to get a couple screen passes. And again, you only need one if I think his line's at 29 and a half, maybe 30. You only need one catch to get over that. But he had 5 catches against the Raiders. He had 9 catches against the Ravens, 5 catches against the Chargers, and then 4 catches against the Steelers. So he definitely gets production that no one really talks about. So I do like Chase Brown over reception or over receiving yards. Probably my favorite parlay besides my touchdown score lottery plays. Again, I'm in the market of parlays. So if you want a straight bet, probably go to Ethan for those. I'm trying to get rich quick. And again, it's not sustainable, but it has been working. I'm sorry, I just rambled off there. Again, if you guys just joining, if you have any comments, any questions, any bets for Monday night's game, please let us know in the comments. We can get to those again. Ethan, do you have anything else about this Sunday night or Monday night game that you want to add on, or talk them off of whatever I just said?
Well, I will add that I'm not doing much better on straight bets than you. So, uh, Ben, if Ben's out there, if he's got up above 100 units in that betting league, so maybe go to Ben for the straights. Aaron, Noel, uh, maybe one of those guys will do better than we are. But one thing that just caught my eye, I was just looking at props while you were talking. Brandon Cook's receptions is only 2.5, minus 135 for the over. I don't know. I feel like it's low just because he, like you said, he just came back last week. Second game back. Bengals defense is not good, so I might look at that. But yeah, I like the Cowboys, and really that's the only way I'm really looking to get involved in this game for the most part.
Yeah, you could do your theory a little opposite of your theory on what's his face, the Bills wide receiver. What was your thing on the Bills guy, the Michigan State transfer? You would take
Keon,
it under receptions and over yards.
yeah,
You could
under,
take
yeah,
very similar to this. Well, kind of similar, but you could take Brandon Cooks under yards and a touchdown, or under yards receptions and a touch. I think last week he had 2 catches on 2 targets with a touchdown.
yeah,
He just, I don't know. Again, he's like a little slant guy. Maybe they throw him a little dump screen, something like that.
yeah.
I don't know. Could potentially fit into that mold of that, the Keon Coleman bet there.
I wouldn't hate for that too. Cavante Turpin under 1.5 catches with a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of a burner, and you get the punt return in there as well. Which does that actually count for him, or is that defense only?
I don't know. It might be DST, defense special teams, but
Oh, blow.
I'm not. I think it counts for the returner.
Okay, it should.
Yeah, it has to.
It
It
has
has
to.
to. Yeah, the Cowboys have those weird wide receivers with Cooks, Turpin, and Tolbert, who are all the same guy. Not possession wide receivers. They're just randomly throwing the ball.
Yep.
Cooks less because he's old, of the deep threat, but the other two big deep threats. Also like CD tonight over receptions under yards, if that's something you guys are interested in. We only have one NBA game. Again, I don't understand scheduling, but I guess it's a low week in the NBA or something. We have Knicks Raptors. Biggest news here is revenge game for RJ Barrett. First game against his old team with the Knicks. I know there was some bad blood, especially between him and Jalen Brunson's dad. So that's potentially a side if you do want to bet that. I know there are some boosts over on DraftKings. And again, if you guys do want some bonuses on DraftKings, who are our friends, you guys can go over to the link in our bio and you can sign up there for a deposit match. But so that's an interesting storyline, but I'm not going to bet the one and only NBA game. The Knicks opened as a 4.5. They're all the way up to a 7. I think that means Karl Anthony Towns is playing, but just not something I really care about there. Quick comment from Aaron. They took away some of Brandon Aubrey's props. No team to get the longest field goal market in DK this week. Damn. Damn. Yeah, it could be a well, you never know with those Bengals, but it could be a 12-point Dallas all field goals game easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Aaron has been cashing in on Brandon Aubrey every single week.
I mean, he's an absolute tank. He's good from 70.
Yeah. Yeah, I still wouldn't hate his over 1.5. It's probably juicy, but
yeah. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. And there was a lot. I only took it once because I do think it's kind of a scam, but like the longest field goal of the game, I took it one game, it was like 47.5. I was like, oh, this is easy. Every single game, it feels like you get a 50-yarder. It hit, but I don't think that's the case. I think it just sticks in my mind that you see 50-yarders all the time. And
Right.
maybe they don't have. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything in that NBA or NHL? I have no NHL bets today. Didn't even look at it. There's nothing that stood out to me. And then again, I talked a little bit, was debating that NBA game, but ultimately stayed off of it.
Yeah, I'm completely dry in both. Yeah, God, NBA. I don't know what's going on this year. It feels like every single sport for me, what I've been doing for years and years that has worked, just isn't working this year. So NBA, I'm on like a very cautious approach. I have like five things I look for, and I'm really not betting unless like four out of the five or five of five are in my favor. So, kind of been staying away from the NBA a little bit. And then I'm really trying to follow your strategy for the NHL because it's been working for you, and I'm getting my ass destroyed in the NHL. So, um, if you don't have a play, there's a very likely chance I don't have a play. So yeah, I also nothing stood out. Didn't dive too deep into it. Just passing on really everything. The card is pretty poor tonight.
It really is. I'm just quickly. There's nothing. The only worthwhile game in college basketball tonight is live right now. Minnesota against Indiana, but too late to talk about that one. I am looking at it. There is some decent games tomorrow. Most notably for me, Michigan plays John Calipari and Arkansas in the Jimmy V
Yeah.
Classic tomorrow. That'll be a interesting game. Michigan is a 4.5 point favorite.
Oof.
I don't know this. I don't know. Oh, Aaron was in the comments plan to take longest field goal if it was there, but they took that off as well. Those bastards. They might jump back on closer to kickoff. They might have just adjusted some lines or something on that one.
Could be.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. I hate Michigan in that one, but yeah, I don't know. Michigan has a major turnover problem. I haven't followed Arkansas at all this year. Besides their one game against, they played someone good early. I think I won
Yeah,
money
got
on them.
dominated.
They lost to Baylor by 5,
Uh,
but I think they were the favorite in that, and I think we took Baylor. I don't know.
yeah,
I remember we won money on that game. Um, they just got spanked by Illinois. Yeah, I'll have to dive in a little bit. I will have a bet most likely on this game. They just beat Miami too, but Miami's ass. I don't know, pretty good game there. Besides that, Miami Tennessee will be, well, that's going to be a blowout. Penn State
Yep.
Rutgers.
Wisconsin, Illinois.
Ooh, ooh, God, that's our line.
Yeah.
The 7.5 point favorite for unranked Illinois to beat number 20 Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, I already know. It's
Here's the issue: Wisconsin on back-to-back losses.
yeah.
So yeah,
Also, Illinois off a loss though.
true.
But yeah, the back to back is rough. But it was against Michigan, who is now number 14. I know that was unranked at the time, and Marquette, I think, is number 8 or 10
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be on Illinois in that game. I'll probably be on Illinois first half. I'm trying a new strategy, which I tried in one game and did not work out. But the 7.5 is a little daunting. I think I might get involved on Illinois. They're probably going to be like a 4 point favorite at half. I might get involved on that instead of the full game. But yeah, I do like that quite a bit. So stay tuned for some college basketball tomorrow. Most likely tweets. I don't know if we'll get a video out for you guys. We will be starting more college basketball videos. Again, crazy with travel. It is a crazy time too right now. We got, with Thanksgiving being so late, we have 3 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's pretty hectic here with all the bowl games too. So just stay tuned. We will have our college basketball show on a regular schedule at some point. I promise you guys that. But yeah, right now it's a little hectic. But do you have anything else you're looking at? I know I'm kind of just glancing over college basketball. I would like to talk or pick your brain a little bit on the college football playoff if you don't have anything else you want to touch on here.
Yeah, I'm good. I guess last thing I'll just say about college basketball: both are Spartans and Wolverines ranked, and that ends droughts for both teams. I think you retweeted Michigan has been since like 2022. Michigan State was just over a year. So nice to end the drought. Nice to see both teams. Nice to see a ton of Big Ten ranked, and then 10 is going to be very fun once conference play gets fully in swing here.
Yeah, it's we have a couple out of conference, but it's starting to really get in swing, which is worrisome because teams just beat the living tar out of each other in the Big Ten. I know Michigan is, I think, 8-1. State is 7-2 or 8-2, something like that. They just beat the living tar out of each other. Because everyone, I think, is. I mean, you got Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio State, Maryland, Rutgers. I mean, all these guys have some studs. All these guys can win it. So
Oregon, UCLA, both ranked, I believe.
right. I keep forgetting about those two schools. USC is now that Bronny James is gone, they're probably going to suck because he was their whole team.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's quickly. I want to pick your brain a little bit about this college football playoff. So if you guys are unaware, the playoff rankings came out last night or yesterday, I think at noon. Obviously, the biggest story was Bama got left out. SMU got left in. There's going to be questions. They couldn't have solved everything there. If they let Bama in, they were going to get a lot of hate. They left Bama out. They got a lot of hate. It is a flawed system. It's 100% a flawed system. I think there needs to be major changes to the college football bracket. I think the easiest thing that they can do, and I want to ask you if you agree here, instead of I love the auto bids. The auto bids is fine. I like that it gives a chance for example, a Boise State to get in. I think that's cool. I think it helps these smaller teams. It helps college football all around to get everyone competitive. Everyone's still fighting to get into the playoff. I think it's cool. But giving them an automatic bye, I think is a little crazy. I think the 5 conference champions should get automatic bids, but rank them accordingly to where you think they are. So, for example, Boise State is a 3 seed with a first round bye, probably has the easiest path to the college football national championship out of all these teams. They have a bye, then they have the winner of Penn State SMU. Playing Penn State's probably better than playing a Texas or an Ohio State or a Oregon or a Georgia or a Notre Dame. So I was just thinking, get rid of the automatic buys and seed them where you think their rank is. Put Boise State at 10, put SMU at 11, and Clemson at 12, and boom, there you go. That solves a lot of problems, and it just sucks. And I don't really feel bad because I have no affiliation to any of these teams. But Oregon, the only undefeated team, the only unanimous number one overall team, has probably the hardest path to the national championship game. Whereas Penn State, I did say Boise State has an easier path than Penn State. That's just because they have a bye week one. Penn State has a cakewalk to the semis. They have to beat SMU, who everyone agrees, besides SMU and ACC fans, should not be in. Penn State has to beat them. Then Penn State gets Boise State in a bowl game somewhere. So I don't know. I think Oregon got screwed. I like having the little guy in like the Boise, like the Arizona State. I think that's cool, but giving them automatic buys, I think is absolutely ridiculous. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Yeah, Oregon, they're not going to win a game, I don't think, in the playoff. I think they're going to lose to either Tennessee or Ohio State. I think it's going to be Ohio State. Um, yeah, terrible pull for them. Doesn't make a ton of sense. And then I agree as well that Penn State, I think, lucked out extremely. They're 9-point favorites over SMU, and then just heard in a podcast today that their hypothetical line, if they go on to play Boise State, they're going to be like 11-point favorites or 13 and a half or something close to 2 touchdowns. So yeah, Penn State. Maybe Oregon should have lost that game. Penn State got rewarded for losing to Oregon. Oregon got uh, knocked for going undefeated and winning their conference championship. So yeah, it makes no sense. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll continue to do it this way. I think they're gonna work out some kinks.
It's yeah. I think people have realized that first of all, playing tough teams in your out of conference to start the season is not at all advantageous. SMU or Alabama, um, Ole Miss, and South Carolina had very tough schedules, very tough strength of records. Not weren't even considered over SMU, who did not beat a ranked team, or Clemson, who 3 losses, Arizona State, who played in probably the worst Power Four or is the worst Power Four conference. So why play? Why would if you're Michigan I know you're opted in into contracts, but I would cancel the Oklahoma game next year. I would cancel anyone tough. I would never play Notre Dame. Just keep playing MAC schools to start off your season. SEC already plays, the Citadel in week 13. So they're just going to keep adding more games like that because it doesn't matter what your strength of record is or strength of schedule it is. All that matters is if you win. So that's stupid. And also the thing that people saw that we just talked about, Oregon should have just lost that game. They would have been rewarded for losing that game, and that's not how it should be. And yeah, and I know they get gifted a bye. These guys have 3 weeks off or 2 weeks off to their next game. Everyone has a 2 week bye right now. At what point is a 3 week bye too much? That's the one thing I worry about bowl games is these guys haven't played in a month.
Yeah,
Michigan plays on New Year's Eve against Bama. They're going to get cream pied. Hopefully, Bama's everyone opt out, but Michigan is not going to play for a month. That's almost a negative. You know,
yeah,
the 2 weeks off, great. The week off, great. 10 days off, great. As soon as you start getting away from the game for a whole month, I think you're at a disadvantage. So sure, Oregon has now a 3 week bye, but I mean Ohio State has a 3 week bye because they didn't play in the conference championship game, and they have these 2 weeks, and then they play on the 21st. So I don't know. The system, the best team was not rewarded with the best seed, and I
yeah,
think that needs to be changed.
yeah. I have two more quick comments on that. The one that is kind of odd to me is Miami just had like no consideration in making the playoffs, and they were only a two-loss team. And then we have, their losses weren't great, and we both have kind of thought they were frauds all year long. I don't think they deserve to be in there, but it's just weird that we're talking about how Alabama was so close to getting in there as a three-loss team that didn't represent in their conference championship game, but no one's talking about Miami, who was only a two-loss team. Um, I get though Bama had more respectable losses, but and then I just wonder, sticking with Bama and that Michigan game, that feels like Bama is just trying to get a little bit of playoff revenge from last year. Like, how did they get matched up?
The first team out's playing a 7-5 Michigan team.
How did they get matched up? Like, I
Michigan's
don't
going
get
to
it.
play all three teams from the last year's college football playoff. They
Yeah,
played Texas, they played Washington, now they're going to play Alabama.
yeah. I just, yeah.
It's a money
Like,
grab.
how
That's what it is.
it is.
It's,
Yeah,
hey, how do we get people to watch this Bama game because no one cares because Bama got left out?
yeah.
Let's have them
When
revenge
in
Michigan.
reality,
Yeah.
Bama and Michigan are going to have a combined, what, five starters between the two teams
Yeah.
playing in that game?
Have Bama play. Well, no one, maybe, yeah, no one cares. Everyone's going to opt out if you're not in the playoffs. But have Bama play Miami or have Bama play, I don't know what other teams were on the border there, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I know you don't want to play in the same conference, but the last thing I'll add is um, it was clear that the committee, and I think this is true for the good conferences, like Penn State was not penalized hardly at all for losing the Big Ten championship game. Texas was not even penalized for losing. They fall the winner got above them, but you know they were not penalized. SMU was almost rewarded for losing their conference championship game. They were
yeah,
rewarded for making it there. Didn't matter what happened in the game. They were, I guess, maybe if they had to stay somewhat close, I guess losing on a 56-yard field goal is a decent argument to be added. But I understand that. I do think you should be rewarded for making it to your conference championship, but not when your conference is the ACC or the Big 12, who is terrible this year.
yeah,
We all agreed the Big 10 and the SEC are the best conferences in football. No one in their right mind would ever deny that. So I understand if you make it there, you should be rewarded, but we should not reward SMU for making it and then losing. Or, thankfully, Iowa State's not in here because they have 3 losses. But where did they fall into the rankings? Are they the third team out because they made it to the Big 12 championship? I don't know. It's
right.
it's like the committee wants to treat all these conferences like they're the same, and they are not at all the same. And again, we have Boise State, who's above Arizona State, which is crazy. I know Boise State has 1 loss, Arizona State has 2, but Boise State's one game was against Oregon, which I know they lost by 3. But besides that, they played UNLV, Fresno. Who else
Right.
is good at and the Big 12's ass. I'm not saying the Big 12 is good, but the Big 12 is a tougher schedule. Go play at, Texas Tech. Go play at Iowa State. Go play at Kansas, who's not even going to make the bowl. Go play, I don't know, there's Colorado even. They're just so much better than these San Jose States or these, UNLVs, or I don't know. They try to make everyone the same, and in reality, it's there's two big conferences. Everyone else is a side thought. So things to change. I'm excited for the 12-team playoff. I didn't realize there's going to be this much controversy. I think the committee didn't realize that everyone was going to have 2 or 3 losses, and they had a lot of questions on mine. I was looking at last year's top 5 teams. Every single team had 1 loss or less. Like that would have been super easy, just get guys out. And if those teams have 1 loss or less, that means everyone else probably has 3 losses or more. So it would have been probably easier last year to figure it out. But it's college football. People lose every week. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm interested. People are bitching. I'm bitching. But it is, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope there's some upsets. Last thing, sorry. I've said last thing like 3 times. The DraftKings line, let me pull this up. I believe like the DraftKings line for upsets in round 1 was like 1.5, the over under. Who's getting upset? Besides, I potentially think Notre Dame, Indiana will be a decent game. I think Ohio State's going to win. Sorry, I should look this up on my phone because whenever I open DraftKings, I start lagging. I just don't know where the upsets are going to be in round 1.
Yeah.
Let me find the line.
I agree. I think Ohio State, Texas, and yeah, I like that.
I mean, Clemson's outclassed 100% by Texas. I know Texas has a pretty flimsy schedule, or flimsy resume. But I mean, they took Georgia to OT. They lost. I mean, Georgia's their only loss. Where is this? College football. Let me try to find this line.
If you are listening and if you have documented proof of you picking Arizona State to have a first round bye in this year's college football playoff, drop a picture in the comment, please, because wow, that is insane.
Okay. Okay, I miss it. Is the line is 1.5 for road wins in round 1, which they're all underdogs. Over 1.5 is plus 165. Under is minus 210. But 1 win exactly is plus 150. 0 wins is plus 200. You can make money on both because that's all it's going to be, either 1 or 0.
Right.
I don't recommend taking both. I don't know. I hope there's some upsets just for the sake of it being fun. There's no way in hell Penn State loses. I don't think there's a way in hell that Texas loses. I think Ohio State is going to steamroll Tennessee, but I don't really know anything about Tennessee, so I could be wrong on that one. The Notre Dame, Indiana, again, I made a video today on my TikTok. I called this a battle of the 2 frauds. Both teams are, in my opinion, a little fraudulent. So I don't know. Maybe IU pulls it off, but I don't know. I think I might pick 0 at plus 200.
Dude, on second thought here, just looking at this is really the first time I've gotten to fully dive in. I feel like Georgia has an absolute cakewalk to the finals.
Well, it's that side of the bracket's free. Georgia and Penn State. Yeah. The problem is what's Beck up to.
Right.
So I would suggest, I think if Beck's out, I think Penn State's going to be the favorite in every single game up until the national championship game. And that's the only game that Penn State can win, is when they're the favorite. So I love Penn State futures. I have one at, again, I don't think they can win because they can never win the big game, but they have an absolute cakewalk to at least the semis. If Carson Beck is out, that quarterback that came in against Texas was terrible. He handed the ball off. He was fine. Can't throw worth a shit. I had Penn State at plus 2,000 back a long time ago. I don't really think they can win it, but I think they got a pretty easy path to the Natty. Same with Georgia.
Yeah.
Whereas the other side is going to be between Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas, in my opinion. And I think those are the 3 best teams in college football. Well, they're 3 of the top 4 best teams in college football on one side of the bracket.
You can get Penn State. Oh, no, never mind. Jeez. Penn State to make the finals is plus 190.
What are they to win it all?
Better than that. Let's see. 600.
Oh, okay. I mean, again, cakewalk. SMU's plus. Okay, like SMU's ahead of Clemson. Clemson just beat them. I don't get it
Hmm.
because they're playing Penn State. I don't know. Georgia's. I mean, Texas and Oregon are tied. Again, I'm still eyeing that Ohio State.
Me too.
I'm not sold at all, or I'm not thrown off at all about their loss against Michigan.
Same.
And I think they are actually hurt. Well, I don't know. They're still hurt from that, but still a damn good team. And if they're not, I think they played that game to not lose. And when you play like that, you find yourself in bad situations. If they played that game like we need to win it, I think they would have beat Michigan by more than 3 touchdowns, which was the spread. They just tried to play safe, try not to lose, try not to make mistakes. When you do that, you make mistakes. But I think they're the all around best team.
Yeah.
They're healthy. If they want to throw the ball, they have the best wide receiver in the country, I think. Probably the best wide receiver core it is the best wide receiver core in the country. Probably best wide receiver in the country. And Jeremiah Smith, the true freshman, who's unreal. I don't know. I think if they get Oregon, which they will if they beat Tennessee, I like them a lot in that rematch game. I'm interested what that line's going to be.
I think I might pull trigger on this tonight. Georgia versus Ohio State as the finalists. Plus 750.
Plus 750. Okay. I just is Beck okay, or does it not matter? Are they kind of that team that just doesn't matter?
Yeah. I just think once all said and done, the cream is just gonna rise to the top, you know? I
I
feel like
agree.
it's always been Georgia and Ohio State this whole year. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we'll have a lot more college football talk for you guys coming up here. Again, we will have videos about every single bowl game. The better ones, the longer the video, but each video will be 3 to 5 minutes. Again, probably closer to 10 for the college football playoff games. But those will be coming out over on our channel at Better and Green. Lastly, Monday night football game tonight. Ethan's leaning Dallas. I'm leaning the Bengals. We both like the over. I do have a couple of touchdown props. If you do want to see those, you can go check them out on my Twitter. We do post our bets every single day over on our Twitter pages. Our username are under our icons here. Make sure you do follow us, Better and Green, over on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on it all, Facebook. And make sure you do like and subscribe over on our YouTube channel. It's the best way to support us. If you guys do need some promos on different sports books, different pick'em apps, make sure you do check the links in our bio. We do have some free deposit matches for you guys to check out as well. Ethan, do you have anything to add before we sign off for the night?
Yeah, this is it's an afterthought at this point, but I just remembered I wanted to say it when you were talking about the 5 teams last year with 1 loss. Um, I just want to add, I think we might be done seeing that in college football because now you can afford the 2 losses, the 3 losses even. So it's like there's more. It might help us as bettors. There's better spots there where we might be able to catch some teams that can afford a second loss. So was thinking about that 20 minutes ago when you were mentioning that, and then forgot to say it. So just want to say that. But we appreciate everyone who tuned in. Please throw us a like and leave a comment for us as well. Really appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see you all week. We'll have multiple shows coming out.
Yep. Again, stay tuned for college basketball, NFL, MMA, NHL, you name it. We'll have some shows out here for you guys on our page. We appreciate you guys. Good luck tonight. And go ahead.
One more thing. I know fantasy football playoffs are around the corner, and Ben should be going live with Bobby tomorrow to talk about waiver wire ads. So I know I am out of all my leagues. 0-5 this year on making the playoffs. So not good for me, but yeah, if you need start sit advice for the fantasy football playoffs, Ben and Bobby, I believe, will be live tomorrow night.
Good thing to mention there. Good point. I was a treasurer in one league, so I took all the money, and of course I already blew it. So I'm kind of need to win that league to pay everyone. And then I'm in another league where I'm in the playoffs, but it's a 2-week playoffs, and I'm down 40 points. So starting next week, I'll be down 40 to try to advance to the second round. So not looking good for me. Probably need to hit another parlay so I can pay my my league members. It was great when they all paid me, and I literally like I think I paid off my credit card or something. And yeah, now I need to come up with $750 pretty soon here, or just win it. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping to just win it. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Good luck, good scores, Godspeed. We will see you guys live potentially this weekend.